Hi everyone, welcome back to the Building Connla stream. If you were here with me just like 10 minutes ago where I finished the last stream, we were working on the Connla database. And now we are going to focus on the next block, that is the frontend block. So right now the only frontend I have for Connla is this not really modified start page that I used to create a demo. If I click here, well, I didn't update this after the refactor, but that should send a theme to my Ghost blog. For those of you who haven't watched the other streams, I'm building Connla, which is a theme marketplace for Ghost themes. Ghost is a blog engine which has gained a lot of popularity in the last few years, and the problem with it is that if you want to upload a theme to Ghost, the only way to do it right now is to go into your admin panel, click on design, click on upload a theme, and upload a zip version of this theme. Imagine if I want to upload upgrade my personal theme to a new version. I will have to build the assets, zip the version, and upload it and replace it. So the Ghost theme has been working in an API that right now it's undocumented, that it allows you to upload themes and change which theme is active and delete them, just with an API. So what I'm building is a theme marketplace where authors can sell their own themes that uses that API, that Ghost API, to automatically keep themes updated in the client's blog. So imagine I am a person who creates a theme, I upload it to Connla, I link a GitHub repository, for example, and every time I tag a new release of that in GitHub of that theme is instantly updated on all of the people who have purchased my theme. So let's get into it. In the last stream I was working on the database for the dashboard, so now I'm going to work on the front end. I'm going to leave the landing page for now. I have that in my list, but it's not in the MVP. So first we have to get the things that are important, and then we can focus on a landing page. And I will also write a blog to explain the project and everything. But for now, let's focus on these three parts, that is the auth routes, a login page, a register page, and also forgot my email page and a reset password page, that I'm just going to use the default ones that template for Laravel Tailwind brings, and then I will customize it later on when the MVP is done. I'm just going to have a little dashboard where you can view your themes, you can view your instances, and I want to build the flow that if I want to add that instance, how would that look? I would need to do something, and I want to build those three things. Today, first let's focus on the auth routes. So, this is the default Laravel install that comes with Vue and Bootstrap. I want to replace that with Tailwind CSS, which is a utility-based framework that has been gaining popularity and I have been using since it launched, and I really like it. So to do that, I'm going to use a Tailwind preset for Laravel. I think it's this one, the one I like. That it's always how I start my project always, because it gets it removes most of the work needed to transition. So to do this, I just have to composer required, and this takes advantage of artisan command called preset that allows you to change the frontend scaffolding. It has three built-in changes, templates, a Vue one, a React one, and a known one that doesn't ship with any boilerplate at all. And then users can build their own packages um, that create their own presets. So in this case, this is a Tailwind preset, and I can run PHP artisan preset Tailwind, or if I run Tailwind auth, it will automatically use Laravel to generate the frontend scaffolding and give me um, a base dashboard and all the auth views, login, register, etc. So I'm going to run that, and now it says please run yarn to install dependencies, and then run yarn dev to replace the default app CSS and everything with your own. So first of all I'm going to do something that I normally do, that is just git ignore all the CSS compiled CSS and JS, because that's going to get generated here on a development mode, and I want CSS and public JS folders. And now what I have to do is to delete those, just so my Git repo detects something, this has been deleted. So I'm going to commit just these two. As you can see, there's a lot of other changes that the preset automatically did for us, but I'm just going to say ignore compiled assets, and let's push that. And now if I change those assets, they are not going to get tracked on version control on GitHub. So I'm going to yarn dev, which is the equivalent to npm run dev, just like yarn doesn't make you the yarn, and that should give me the asset bundle that should regenerate those folders I deleted with Tailwind. So we'll have to wait a little bit there. As I said before, if you want to, if you have any questions of my way to work, have any questions about the project or about anything whatsoever, feel free to ask me. I love to talk while I do this. It can be kind of boring if I just shut up and don't say anything. So yeah, that got us back to the default boilerplate, but now we have these cool sign in and sign up pages that I will customize, but not right now. I'm gonna keep it as they are for now, and then after the MVP I can focus on the styling and giving the personal. Right now I'm just trying to get stuff done and looking decent, and this looks decent to me. So I'm going to log in. This auth command automatically generated some controllers for authentication and a home controller for the dashboard. I end up always renaming home to dashboard, but anyways. So I'm going to log in with the user I generated last time, and that should get me right into the dashboard. You are signed in. Perfect. So this dashboard is looking, it looks right. I don't really want to use the that color palette, but I'm going to roll with it for now, and then in another episode we will take the mediocre UI that I'm going to build today and build something that actually looks good, like how we did with the blogcast UI, where you can tell it's a custom app, that it's not a template. Whoops, let me log in to show you how this works. So the sign-in is completely customized, and I did start with the same template, but I changed everything progressively, and this looks a lot different. So also now I can get rid of this package composer remove, because I don't need it now. It only serves me to run the project. It doesn't need to get installed on the server or anything. So once that we have that done, first auth routes is done. Vendor dashboard. I'm just going to go to resources, views, home. First I'm going to move everything that is in home to dashboard, because dashboard is a lot better name for this. So dashboard.play.php, and I also need to plate the route, so it's slash dashboard instead of slash home. And I'm actually going to use route view, so I don't need a controller for this. Name is obviously dashboard. This contains all the auth routes, and I could add the verification routes, which I'm going to do. This will make sure that that the routes for email verification are generated, and this preset also already includes that, so that's perfect. And I have some more places to update. In the auth, this redirects people when they are logged in, so I need to redirect it to dashboard. Dashboard here, dashboard here, dashboard here, and dashboard again. I also need to update a middleware that most people forgot when doing this rename. The authenticate, the redirect is authenticated, that redirects you to home, and I want this to redirect you to the route dashboard. Perfect. So now everything should get you to the dashboard instead of to the home page. And also in this template I'm using, there is a call for the home, I think somewhere in here, so like route home. So now this should run the fine, and if I go to, for example, the 404 page, in the errors, this also references home. So I'm going to get you to the dashboard. So this should also work. Now, this panel right here is using a view component, the example component. So I'm just going to get rid of that and use the default non-view markup, which should look almost the same. I'm going to get rid of this top margin like that. So I'm going to say here themes, because here's where I show the themes that a user has, like the ones they created, just to give this a little, to get this started. So I'm going to make a list with like theme name, for example. So what I need to do here is for each of the user themes, so auth user themes as theme, and I need to end the for each here. So just output the theme name. And if you remember, I created a mock theme that should show up here. That is the example theme. Correct. So what I want to do is I want to show a message when the user has no themes, because right now it would render an empty page. So I could, like, if user has themes, do that, but there is for else directory that will take care of this for me. So if this is empty, I can render you have no themes. And that won't show up because right now I have themes. But if I go in here, get the first theme, and say the user ID equals 2, which is a user that doesn't exist. Yeah, I need a user for that. Let's create a new user. Then users create. The email has to be different, so I'm going to add that to in here. So now I should be able to save that theme. So now this user doesn't have any themes, and then it shows that you have created no themes thing. So as I said before, I'm not working on the UI here. I'm just like getting a little version, a little minimum user version, like a version I wouldn't want to use, but I could use if I was really interested in the product, or if I wanted to try it out. And then in another episode of building Connla, I will work on the actual UI and get it pretty and everything. So this is more of like a sketching episode. So now I'm going to say, like, this is kind of done. Okay, so I have done a theme list. We probably want an add theme part, and maybe theme administration where I can administer the purchases that I will add when I actually have purchases later. So let's say imagine I want to use this to create a free theme. What would I need to do it right now? I need to add a theme. This can wait because I don't need to manage purchases. And I need this because this is how people will add their instances. So I'm going to focus on mostly on this today. The other adding Tailwind thing was an introduction. Hi, Dominic. So let's do this. I'm going to create an instance controller. And I'm going to create a route, which is going to say route get. Actually, let's get rid of that instance controller and create an instance controller which is a resource, which means that Laravel already sets all this stuff for us. So this is a listing. This would display a list of the instances. This would show the form for creating a new instance. This would store the instance. This would show the instance. So we already have this boilerplate. Let's get started on the create thing. So the create function should show the form for creating new resources. So return view instances dot create. So we can use now route resource and just say instance. And this should, if I list my routes now, generate instance create, instance and the instance edit, all those things. I think I can also like name and generate names for all of those. Maybe I can't. Yes, I can. I have to set the name for a specific action. Okay, so let's keep that without. So the parameters of this thing were one past, two expected. I think it's like create instance.create maybe. So now instance create, the name is instance.create, but apparently it's already generating all of them, so I don't know what I'm doing this. I didn't look out for that. So we have all this instance store, so we need to go to the instance create route. I'm going to add it to the navigation because I imagine in this imaginary user who likes bad UI and it's using this version wants to access that. So in here I want to add it next to the home one. So we don't have an add instance, which says that the instance view it doesn't exist because it doesn't. Let's create that. Resources, views, instance, create.blade.php. I'm going to extend this so that it has a little boilerplate. Instance sys create. I typoed that. Okay, so now if I click in an instance, you get to this identical thing. And now that I'm thinking about it, it would be cool if this looked kind of like a registration view. So let's see how that would look like. Yeah, that's probably a really better UI for this. I'm going to name this add instance, and we are going to work on this one. So add a new ghost instance. So this should go to the store method, which is the one that creates a new one. And here we would add the logo. So what parameters do we need for an instance? Let's see. Database. We need a name, which we already have. We need a URL. And we need a token. So I would ideally have here an onboarding that shows the user how to get the token, but for now let's assume that the user knows, and we will work on the onboarding later, similar to how I did the. I can probably reuse a lot of the blogcast onboarding code for that. So instances create. We have a name. The placeholder is going to be my awesome blog. Then we need a URL. and I'm going to say here https my blog.com. Is this an actual domain? I wonder. Well, it looks like it is one of those it's available domains. Anyways, so we now have a name, an email, and we want the secret, which we are going to call our token, I guess. In the database is called token, so let's call it token. Let's see how Ghost calls it. If you were wondering, this extension I have to show an image and good afternoon, and the time when I open a new page is called momentum. It's like a personal dashboard thing. So in here it's called admin API key. So let's call it like that. Maybe I'll take care of this on the onboarding, but for now let's call it token internally. And this shouldn't be a password. I guess this should be some gibberish. That would work. So this is a type of text. I'm going to remove a little bit of this so that you can see the two sides of it. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, so you don't need like to get everything. So that looks like the I'm going to add a 5 4 5 4. I want to get it up to here. Like an error here and an error here. I want to get it up to here so like it looks like it continues, but you can see the column clearly in the middle. So an A here and an A here. Yeah, that's it, I think. So that looks like the API would look like. Let's assume that the user knows where to get this for now. And let's get rid of the confirm password thing, because there's nothing to confirm. And then no need for have an account things. Let's just center this. Item center, justify center. Let's get rid of tab index because the browser takes care of that automatically. For us, there's no need to override it. If I go here, tap, 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 perfect. And also if I reload, it automatically focus on this one using the autofocus. This is required, this is required, and this is required. Perfect. So sign up. This is a form. This should post to the store. So now what we want to do first, we want to show the navigation. Then we want to get rid of some of the margin. So like P X, I guess. Where's this margin coming from? It's full flex. Oh, it's using content full. If I use content here, yeah, that's better. Let's get rid of this. I will maybe add the logo on here at some point. I will probably replace this whole screen with an onboarding, but for now this should work. So name, URL, and the admin API. Then I click sign up. I need example blog HTTPS. Let's add the real one. Local, this, and the admin API key. Sign up. This is going to give me an error because actually it's not going to give me something because I didn't create a method for this. Like this doesn't return anything. So in the store I want to first validate the request. I need a name which is required and is a string. I need a URL which is also required, a string and a real URL, and I need the API key which is on the token name required, a string, and it needs to have a specific format which is this one. So I'm just going to copy that and here let's see if we need any other parameters. We have, nope, that's it. So I can just like say instance create with that because request validates returns the validated elements, and now I can like maybe return redirect to a specific route, maybe the index. So if I run this again, oh, I need the user ID, right. So how do I add this? I can say request user. I need to make sure these are authenticated. Let's say return no, this middleware auth. That should get that done. So request user instances add create. I'm guessing that will do it. And it does it redirected as, and if I now go in Tinker and say user equals user first user themes first, nope, user themes first, like that, nope, user themes no themes, theme all. Looks like it didn't get saved. Oh yeah, right, because it's an instance. Silly me. So user first instance, and we can see that that was the first instance. If we get that one, and we get the instance, save with the actual user ID, name, URL, and token. So that works. Yeah, Dominic, I meant instance. There is like a little bit of a lag, I guess. Anyway, so that works. Oops. In here I'm going to like, this is the show one. So I think we have the flow to add instances. There are like a lot of blank spots, literally. But let's continue doing instance work. So instances, we need one for the index, which is what I'm, no, I added this to the index accidentally. I wanted to add it to a constructor. That's better. Anyways, so this should return view instances.index. I guess since that's how this is called. Did I? Yeah. Instance index goes to the index method. Okay, so instance index. And this is probably a lot more boring than the other streams, because this is like, in the others I was doing database stuff, or in the first one, which was really fun, was like the one where I go and reverse engineer hidden APIs on the Ghost core. So I guess this is not as fun, but we can have fun every time. So instances as I'm going to need to design this at some point, and I'm getting lazy. So let's hyperlink this to the actual instance URL. And Tailwind removes this styling, so I'm going to have to add it again. Underline. Actually, just like, yeah, underline. That looks really bad. Let's say border be border array like this, so it's the same color as that. Did I save this? I did. And border b2, which is the treatment I give links in my blog, but I don't know what this is. Why this isn't picking the style of the text. Inherit. Where's this getting inherited from? So let's say text ray. Let's give this the same color. For some reason the border isn't. Oh, okay, gray. There we go. And now on hover, border gray like this or something. Gray again. I mean, doesn't look great, but for something I'm prototyping, it doesn't look that bad. So I'm going to leave the edit and delete things out for now, and going to focus on I'm really not enjoying this. I would rather be building the GitHub thing, but I'm guessing that's I have to do this first. Let's go with add theme. I would rather just like do a 2-hour stream tomorrow where I actually design this instead of like doing weak design I have to delete later. But I need to get the foundation stone. So theme and theme controller. And then we have a page in here for theme create, add theme. Which goes nowhere. And this also needs authentication. So create should return view themes create. This could probably be automated in some way. But anyways, sources, views, let's actually duplicate this. That would save me work. Themes, create, oh, nice icon. Add theme, add a new ghost theme, and theme store. I like just realized that I didn't actually get in the database everything I wanted because themes need a price, but we'll take care of that now. So we need a theme, a name for the theme, my awesome theme. We need, let's check the database. The user ID, source, and an identifier. So for now, what I'm going to do is let's add a price. Is there a money type? Let's check on the actual good website. Type color, date, datetime local, email, file, hidden, image, month, number, password, radio, range, reset, search, submit, tell, text, time, URL, week. Nope, there isn't. So we are going to have here an integer name price, value old price, this is going to be on dollars, and this is using the form input Tailwind plugin. So I'm guessing there is some kind of input groups where you add a URL like a $sign next to the input. No, it's on the GitHub org. If not, I will need to build it myself. Custom forms. Go to the website. Input text area, select multiple, checkbox, changing the color, changing the size, radio. I need to sleep more. Nope, there isn't. I do remember seeing it somewhere. So let's search in the Tailwind components website for input. That's like actually what I want. Let's check the code. Let's get this descent and see how that looks on here. Yeah, that's like not really what I want. I want the old styling but with this input thing. Let's see how can I integrate it here. If I can get it to the default styling. So that's a little bit better, but still not perfect. So let's see what happens if I add this, replacing this. Okay, that looks a lot better, and also this is using the old things. So I'm going to just like copy this and migrate it using the Tailwind shift utility. And let's pipe it to pv copy. So that should get us the Tailwind v1 code. So let's see why this looks different. Okay, so this is like the same. I need the border here to disappear, and okay, Let's see. So form input has a border, which looks kind of like that. I need it to be like flex items grow. I think that's the class. First items center and then items I think there's a grow class. It's stretch, okay. So that should ensure those two have the same width. This I think it's rounded LG, like that, and then this is like border flex. Why does this need to be flex? Item center. What happens if I get rid of this? Okay. BG gray, no need for that. Rounded LG, rounded L no. PX3, font bold, and the text gray, 8. So now instead of having this here, let's have it there. And now if I say this, whoops, literally whoops, yeah, now I want to get rid of that border. So border, I'm just going to like replace all the rest of the borders. Border B, border, can I do like border L known or border L0? I can. So here border R0, and that looks like just like what I want. I need to get rid of this focus so that it's focused on the so I think that is done via a shadow. Yeah, okay. And then this also changes color. So let's say here like let's see if this works this way. Nope, it doesn't. So what I want to do here is group, and maybe like when one is focused, have the other. I mean, it's not that bad without it. Like, this is not that bad, it just bothers me that this doesn't have it. But I'm guessing it's fine, so okay. So I want this to be a number. Let's check the front-end validation on Mozilla in English, if possible, please. Okay, required. All of these are required, I think. No, price isn't. But I want to do something different with players, so that's fun. Fine. You have been decided. Do you always want to see this in English? Yes. Validate against a regular expression. Length. That is not what I want. Okay, so in this input that is type number, I can say step 0.1. So now when I, instead of going 1 to etc., we can go 0.1, 0.2, whatever. But I'm guessing people will want to say like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then if they want where they can do that. So that's like redundant, that's the default. Let's get rid of that. Ooh, I didn't know you could do that. Wow. That's really cool. Anyways, min and max, that's what I wanted. So min is going to be arm 1, because Stripe doesn't let you process transactions that are less than that, and there's not going to be a maximum, but I want to make sure that people can't do that you can like do just that. So how do I do that? Let's see, number input decimal places. Please tell me there is a good way to do this. Come on, JavaScript. Limit decimals. That seems more of what I want. Instead of step any, you can... Are you telling me that if I say here step 0.01, then you can't add more than that? I think you would still be able to. Like 1.0000. Yeah, you can still do that. Ooh, regex. That's like a good idea. Let's make my own just in case. So I want to allow 1, I want to allow 2, I want to allow 3, I want to allow 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. I want to allow 1.01, 1.10, 1.99. I don't want to allow this. I don't want to allow this. I don't want to allow this. And I don't want that. So we have a digit, as much of that as you can, then a comma or a point, it doesn't matter which one of those, but only one, and then decimals, 1 or 2. But all this is optional. Okay, so 1 2 3 1 1 1 2 1 3 101 110, and this is not. Oh, okay, so it catches this. So if there is a comma, there needs to be this after, but because this is optional, there can be only the comma. I'm guessing. Okay, let's generate the code. Let's see how I have to place it here. And let's see if that works. It should let them input but not get away with it. Like if they do that. Oh, weird. That's obviously not allowed, but it doesn't validate it. Let's see, did I do anything wrong? What's the format here? So let's see, the start is this, D, and then at the end we want this. Does that make any difference? So it looks like I don't really need this. So name whatever, price 1.0. Huh? Why does it let it do that when it shouldn't? Oh, JavaScript. I could swear there was some kind of format or something. That I saw before. So like 111.000.000.005. Okay, let's search for number input HTML5 input regex. That's what I want. Pattern. Okay, so that should actually work, but for some reason it doesn't. Okay, yeah, that, what? No, that should be valid. Why isn't that valid? 1,11 should be valid. Oh, for the step thing, I guess. Yeah, that works. Fine for me. And now if I click the up arrow, it gives me a valid one. Okay, perfect. So we have a price now. What I want to do is, like, there is no pricing implemented yet. Oh, okay. Also first add this stuff. Placeholder, like, let's say $10. That's a fair price. I will a little bit cheap, but anyways. Name price, type number, and required. Is this required? No, but for a good reason. Because now I want this to be disabled. I want it to look disabled. So like maybe background gray, like that. Yeah, but not there. BG gray, like that. A little bit less. Yeah, that looks, because that looks just like, yeah, this here, also there, and also the not allowed cursor. Like that, yeah. And I need to make that a little bit less prominent. Maybe like text gray. Yeah, that's better. That's a lot better. Let's see. Okay, so price is not implemented yet, so let's say price coming soon, and I would make this small, but this is already small, so like that should work. And then we have another parameter that is we need a source, and we need I will probably add images and previews and a description at some point, but for now it is a simple theme. So we need a source, which is going to be back to the the Tailwind form page. And I'm going to get the select example, this one. And go here, and this is a select now. Also like empty one from input, block, doubly full, and we want a border when this goes wrong. It is going to be called source. And we are going to have a few options like local and like GitHub for now. And it should get local selected by default, but I don't want that. Let's do a little bit of googling. So like select default placeholder. Let's see if there's one without weird hacks. Does this work? Select your options and then it doesn't select it. It could. That's what I want. So this hides it, so that option first, this is required obviously, and then I'm saying here like an empty one that is disabled is selected and value is empty, and then we have to make sure it's hidden. So that should maybe work, and it does. Perfect. And this, the value of this is local, and the value of this is GitHub. And then we need an identifier that, I mean, this GitHub is disabled because you can only select local, and then we have an identifier that in this case, for trying it out, it's going to be an upload, and the identifier is going to be like you are uploading something. So that way people can add themes from zip files to try it out before I build the GitHub integration, and that should get me pretty close to the MVP. So let's say file, and this is gonna be an input just like this one, but it's an input type file, name file. There is no value here, and there is no placeholder either. Let's see how Tailwind makes that look. I mean, it doesn't look that bad. I would say it's good for MVP. The form needs to be multi-part. I forgot the exact thing for to be able to upload stuff. So I need to add this to the form. So this should make that anyone can like add new themes just using their uploading raw zip files, and then later when I build the GitHub integration they can switch to it. I'm going to change the placeholder to 0 on here because it feels confusing that it's 10 and you can change it. So that's a lot better. And the source you can only choose local. The file should be required and not autofocus because you can only autofocus one thing. Type name. Yep. Let's go back to the here. Let's see, store. We want to request validate, and we need a name which is required, and it's a string. I wonder if the price is sent with the request. Even when disabled. I'm going to upload here an actual theme, unexpected whatever. Okay, so it isn't. That's okay, that's fine. Why is the source not sent? Did I not specify? Okay, I didn't specify a name for it. I think select name source. Let's see if that fixes it. So like some theme, source local, upload whatever, sign up. Now we have the source, the file, and the name, but no price. That's just what I want. Okay, so name is that. We have a source that is required. It's a string, and it must be in local because right now GitHub is not allowed. We have a file that it's required. It's a file, and it's more than a file because it's a zip file. So to do that, there is a validation rule for files which is called nopta. No, this is collections. So accepted meme type and meme type but file extension. So I want to say memes zip. and this is secure because it reads the file. And yeah, that's it. So that seems secure enough. I'm also not going to list this publicly, so a PHP shell should not be able to leak in. And now, oh, I also probably want to do the file validation on the front end. So input file extension filter. If I remember correctly, there is an special thing for this. Let's say extension filter zip. Let's say someone did my work for me. HTML file input accept only zip files. That's what I want. Application octet stream accept.zip. Application zip. Application zip. Application zip compressed. So this should only allow me to upload zips. And if I upload all files, then the validation will be carried out in the front end. Okay, works for me. This is just to help users, and then in the backend we really validate it. So accept only .zip. Now we have an uploaded file. So how do I store a file? If I remember, HTTP request files. Let's see. Request photo store, and this automatically generates the name. Okay, so let's say let's see to see what this outputs. So request file store and let's say local, and let's see what that returns and where it saves it. It returns a path and it saves it on storage here, app local. Okay, so I need this. So now we will say here theme create, the name is request input name, the source is request input source, and the identifier is this because this allows us to identify it. I'm going to delete this. Okay, and then return redirect route our themes index. So let's try this out. I need to import theme. And now I should be redirected. User ID, same issue as before. So request user themes create reload. Okay, so the route doesn't exist. That's not our problem. If we tinker in user equals user first and user themes first. Has an identifier source. Okay, so it works. The MVP is more or less complete. There are a lot of issues and everything, but you can successfully add a theme, upload it, the application will store it, you can add an instance, and then we would need the code that when you upload a new theme, the instance gets the new theme. But for now, I think I'm going to leave it here. I will continue the next day polishing the UI and getting it so that you can upload new versions of a theme and it updates. So if you want to get notified when I go live, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can just go to i.miguelpf.me/yt and you will get to my YouTube channel. You're probably also watching this on YouTube. You can follow me on Twitter for updates for this. You can also go to this URL I'm showing on the screen to go directly to the Connla Twitter account and follow here there and activate notifications, because I retweet everything, every update of this project. I do it there, so you will get notified only of the updates for this project. You can follow me on Twitch for this kind of streams. I'm also streaming to Twitch, and occasional streams that aren't really related to this project, so I don't stream it to other places. I only stream to Twitch and Periscope, and I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. I will see you next time. Bye.